everyone, I'm Karishma and I'll be interviewing Sari with QC Pre-Law. So hi Sari, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so the first question I have today is, can you give me some background on yourself before you got into your position and what ultimately led you to choose it?
My background is I got a JD and a PhD. And so I went to law school after college. And some point in law school, I thought what I really like is philosophy of law. And not just, I didn't want to practice being a lawyer, but I love the philosophical issues. And so by the time I graduated, I decided I didn't want to work in law. And I applied to graduate schools and I decided to do my PhD. And one thing just to flag it, one thing that I was incredibly lucky about that made all this possible is I'm Canadian and I did my schooling in Canada and I went to law school in Canada. And in Canada, you could graduate law school without a lot of debt. And so I didn't have to, by the time I graduated, I was able to work my way through law school. And by the time I graduated, I was able to make the decision because I didn't have giant loans that I had to pay back. I was able to make the decision that I wasn't going to go right into practicing law and that what I really wanted to do was do more school. And so I went for a PhD. And with PhDs, it's not like a law degree, like a professional degree. PhDs, they actually, and this is true in Canada and the US, you're paid to be a student. Not a lot, but enough. So I wasn't rich, but you get funding to do a PhD. So I was able to spend the time, which was a huge luxury, which was wonderful, that I needed, taking courses and studying and writing a dissertation, and then really developing my expertise and doing what I loved. And then I was lucky enough to get a job here.
Nice. So second question I have is, can you explain your role in QC's pre-law program and what exactly the program is, like what it provides to students?
One thing, I've been at Queen's College since 2009, so for over a decade. So I've been here for a long time and I know the students really well. And one thing that I've always experienced with the students, and one of the reasons why I'm so thrilled to be doing this program, is I know how talented and creative and intelligent and exciting the students are. And I think that, and it's such a pleasure to teach them. But I also know that that it's hard as Queen's College students. You don't always know what opportunities are available to you, or how to connect with the opportunities available to you and what happens after college. And the college doesn't have that many paths open for what to do when you graduate, right? So you get a bachelor's degree and then you're a little bit on your own, right? And I think that's really hard because a lot of students don't already have people in their lives that can show them those paths. And those paths are really hard to do. And I know it took me a long time. And I know how scary and challenging and overwhelming making those decisions is. So, but I also know our students have so much to offer. So so that's the best part about doing this. And that's why I wanted to do it, because I think that this gives me an opportunity to, first of all, get to know lots of students, but also introduce students to lots of opportunities and paths. Law is a really, really, really broad field. And so it brings students from all areas, right? There's no law major requirement. You can come from dance, come from art, come from philosophy, come from chemistry, come from economics, accounting, right? And so law draws students from everywhere. And also it opens a lot of doors. People want to be activists or politicians or go into business or go into the corporate world or work in government or whatever, right? Law opens so it really gives you a broad swath of areas. And so, teaching students about those opportunities, helping them with these paths, watching students succeed right? On when they get on this, that's so all of that is why I do it. And it's the most rewarding part of it.
Yeah, you're really there to guide them. And so does QC pre-law have a specific mission or mantra?
Our mission is to help our students on the path on paths to success, to help our students succeed.
Okay, great. So do you have another person or another program or experience that serves as like your inspiration for this program?
The program that I look to the most for guidance is the SEEK program, actually, because I think the SEEK program on campus is so successful at putting students and keeping students on paths to success, and has like has figured out how to use its resources to really help students succeed. And the other thing that the SEEK program does really successfully, which is really important for my program, is that it, well, it's, I mean, I think all of Queens College does this really well, but the SEEK program is a model of seeing the potential in every student, even when there are challenges, and helping students reach their potential, like overcome challenges to really fulfill their potential. So it's the potential, the students' talents and potential that guide everything else, even when there are obstacles to it. So if there's, something at home, or they're having trouble with coursework, or they have to take time off, or whatever it is, it's because you guys have so much to offer that you get through, that we help you.
What attributes of yourself do you consider to create success within your program?
I have learned a lot from challenges I faced. And I mean, one thing I've learned is that no matter where you are, there are obstacles. And the secret to success is not being discouraged and learning how to use resources to ask for help or regroup or whatever it is, to when you face an obstacle, to overcome it.
That brings you like the most satisfaction.
Yeah, and I think that also makes it is what makes it easier to do all the work and all the other things that are less fun.
There's like this rewarding.
Students are going to benefit, and that's so much. That's great. And then you guys help each other, and that's even better.
So I know you touched about this in your answer. Like, what's the biggest failure that you've experienced so far, and like, what did you learn from it?
First of all, I know that whatever it is for everyone, the road to success is tough. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of, there's always everyone, no matter who you are, has obstacles, has doubt, wants to get off, needs support. Everyone does. And so the more we learn from each other, the better, I think. I know how hard it is and how important it is to have someone when those things do happen, to have someone on your side helping you in those moments and helping you guide people through the really difficult moments. And those are often moments of transition, are really tricky, like the transition from college to the whatever's going to come next, especially if it's something as treacherous and difficult as applying to law school and as like high stakes and competitive. And I know how important it is to have someone there for you and how hard it is when you don't. And so it's important to me to be someone who is capable of helping people in those really difficult moments. So I try to pay really close attention to when students are really at risk and like kind of faltering on that path. I know that's a really difficult point. So I want to pay really close attention to, when those risks come up.
Yeah, not a lot of professors are like that, honestly.
I think that's one of the huge strengths of Queens College, that people, and I agree, the people I talk to here and it's also a pleasure of getting to do this here, is that you get to see how dedicated people are to really to the students.
It's nice to know that someone's like rooting for us.
Yeah, it is. It's really important. And I think it's really important for you guys to know that. I know how scary and difficult and challenging it is. And to have that, to know that you have that kind of support, especially in those moments, is really, really, really important. So that's a priority for me. And that's something I think I can offer.
So do you have any like big goals or plans for where you want QC pre-law to head to?
I do. Yes. My main goal right now, aside from, getting everyone on board and everyone into law school and people, the resources they need and everything like that, the main thing I would like to accomplish is for students, the Queen's College students and graduates, to feel like to have a community with each other and with the world outside. And the little bit I could do is with the legal world. So I would like you guys to be able to offer each other support and connection, because at the end of the day, that's where your support's going to be. Right? What's important to you is what you hear from each other, not from me. And so that's what I would really like to have. And that as we graduate students and as you guys get into law school and then graduate and become lawyers and move on and so on, I would love to see a community develop. That's my goal.
Nice. So the last question of our interview is, what is your relationship with TIQC? Like, are you satisfied with their services? Is there anything you wish they did differently?
So far, my experience has been fantastic. I think it's such a great idea. For one thing, it's also a perfect model of what I would love to accomplish. It builds community. You guys get to work with different programs across campus. You're developing your expertise. I get to learn from your expertise. And as you know, Karishma, you teach me all about these things, which I have I don't know how to do the social media stuff or communicate with students at all. So I think you're invaluable. I wouldn't be able to function without you. And as always, it's such a pleasure to get to learn from our students and the college community. So every one of my goals is met with TIQC. So I think it's a phenomenal program. I hope you guys are getting as much out of it as we are. But I think it's a fabulous idea and going really well. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am.